This is Zach Chen. Welcome back to this video channel. Today we're going to talk about the DISC personality profile. Okay, what is exactly DISC? Alright, it is basically a personality profile tool which is used widely around the world for people to understand their own personalities as well as their co-workers and their employees' personality better. Okay, this tool of DISC basically categorizes people into four broad categories of D, which stands for dominance, I, which stands for influence, S, which stands for steadiness, and C, which stands for conscientiousness. Well, let me dive right in. Okay, the DISC profile is basically a way, okay, for people to undergo a whole series of questions, okay, which you have to answer honestly, frankly, truthfully to about yourself. And at the end of this simple series of questions, there will be some form of tabulation of your scores, and you will be able to understand, all right, briefly, okay, which big category do you generally belong to out of D, I, S, and C. Okay, the DISC profile basically is able to help us better understand our own personality tendencies, okay, our strengths in the various category that we belong to, as well as some of our weaknesses that we can focus to level up on. Okay, why is DISC pretty beneficial to everybody's performance? Okay, first of all, by understanding where you stand and which general category that you belong to, okay, it allows you to leverage, all right, and to increase your performance and your effectiveness at work or maybe in your daily life. All right. Number two, understanding the DISC doesn't just apply to you personally, but it also allows you to, if you were to know the DISC category of people around you, be it in the workplace or maybe in your own peer group, okay, it allows you to understand better, okay, the people that you are working with, and that allows you to adapt your strategies or adapt your working styles, okay, to suit your co-workers or the people around you, and also allow you to bring out the best, okay, bring out the best potential in your co-workers and the team around you. All right, so essentially DISC is empowering tool, okay, by understanding more of a person, whether is it yourself or others, then you can actually work on the strengths of each individual and also to harness each other, okay, to bring out the best in everybody. All right, so let us begin by talking about D, okay, the category of dominance. People who belong to this category of dominance typically exhibit certain characteristics. All right, for the dominance category of personality, okay, is pretty much has a strong emphasis on the bottom line, all right, on delivering results, on having achievements, all right. So this is a main theme, okay, that revolve around dominance category. And in terms of the behavior, all right, how do we typically associate, okay, what kind of behaviors that associate with dominance? Okay, this category of dominance typically people who are bold, okay, they are willing to take up any challenge, all right, and if you were to interact with them, you find that these are the people who exude a high level of confidence, all right, about them. Okay, so in terms of behavior, you can identify with a dominance category of people quite straight away. You can actually pick up all these signals. And the strength in dominance category would be their tendency to be natural leaders, Okay, their personality and their behavior naturally lend them as leaders who will provide the direction. Okay, they are really good with working with a general goal, a general direction, and they're very focused on the goal itself. All right, and people who are belonging to dominance category are also very good in sticking to the plan, and whichever challenges that come arise along the way, they are good in steering a team or the people around them towards that common goal, and in times when people tend to be sidelined. So that is the strength of people in the category of dominance, really confident, natural born leaders, and very focused on the goal and general direction. Okay, in terms of the shortcomings or the areas to work on, okay, people who belong to the dominance category tend to be a little blunt in terms of taking note of the feelings of others, or they may not be the most sensitive people to work with or to interact with. In terms of the general scheme of things, all right, they actually mean no harm, all right. It's just that not in their personality to be that sensitive, so they might be a little bit blunt, and sometimes when there's a need for them to bring across a message, they may not be the most tactful or the most diplomatic person to bring across a message in a very easy to swallow kind of way. They may just point blank tell you, like, hey, you're not doing this well, hey, you're not up to standard, or something like that. So this is probably one area that people with the category of dominance can look into, which is the sensitivity and their attention to the emotional aspect of people around them. All right. Next category that we are going to talk about would be the category of influence. All right. People who belong to the category of influence, okay, they have a strong emphasis on the ability to be very open, okay, to be able to form relationships with other people easily, all right. And this category of influence, okay, they are also characterized by a very strong ability to convince people, right, to persuade others, and as well as to influence the way people think and to influence the perception of others, okay, in their interactions with them. Okay, so people who belong to the category of influence, all right, typically when you interact with them, you are able to spot certain behavioral tendencies, right, for influence. Now, what are some of them? Okay, one very outwardly obvious behavior of people in the category of influence would be that they are very optimistic people. Okay, when given any kind of situation or encounter or opportunity, okay, you will find that people who belong to the category of influence are usually the first person to say, hey, yes, this is possible, why not, all right, hey, we have a good chance of winning this, we stand a good chance, let's do it, all right. So people who are in the influence category, they have always a sense of optimism about them that you can sense in behavior, all right. And also, okay, another very strong behavioral tendency that you can see in people in the category would be that they are really enthusiastic as well. Okay, people who belong to the influence category, they when given a task, or when in they're playing sports, or when in doing anything that they go about in their daily life, they will do it with a tinge of enthusiasm, a passion, all right, and it shows, all right, when you observe them, all right, the way they carry themselves, right, there's a sense of enthusiasm that's infectious, okay, and the enthusiasm basically also has a big part to play in the ability to influence others, as the energy level and the vigor that they show in their enthusiasm, it's highly contagious, all right. And other than that, Okay, another behavioral characteristics about people in the area in the category of influence is that they typically, okay, you can expect them to be able to build rapport with even new people, all right, making new friends, meeting strangers, all right. They are able to quickly, you know, just like that, get into a conversation. Okay, maybe easy for them to get into small talk, or you know, just from moving from small comments and into a conversation easily. Okay, so people in the category of influence are really good at striking conversations, okay, and making you feel at ease with them around. Okay, so now in terms of their, how about the shortcomings or any weakness that they have, we would generally feel that people in the influence category, okay, because of their need for personal connection with others and interactions, okay, when there are moments of, you know, like awkwardness or silence, or when there is very little interaction involved in their task or in their you know, like day to day, they might be easily they've had this feeling of being left alone, all right, and they dislike the feeling of being left alone, okay, or like being ignored. Okay, being ignored or left alone is not a good feeling for people who belong to the influence category, because of their need to be constantly, okay, in connection and interaction with others. So this will be an area that if you belong to the influence category, you will want to probably look into this, and not let the quiet moments, or you know, like moments of silence, or people not having constant interaction with you being a distraction from your abilities, and not letting the moments of being ignored as affecting you negatively. Okay, don't take it as a judgment on you, or don't take it negatively. Yep. Thirdly, alright, we talk about the category of steadiness. Now, people who belong to this category of steadiness, okay, are often characterized by a strong emphasis of their approach of slow and steady, alright, and they are really steadfast in their actions. People who are in the category of steadiness also are people who love, okay, to show a lot of sincerity in their actions. Okay, these people would perhaps be some of the best people that you can depend on, highly dependable, highly responsible and accountable for their actions. Okay, people who belong to the steadiness category are also typically, alright, very good in terms of doing conscientious, slow and steady approach to their everyday lives. Okay, people who are in this category, you can actually observe and pick up some of the behavioral tendencies, okay, such as their mannerisms. Okay, people who are in the steadiness category typically show a very calm demeanor about them. Okay, and they're very calm in terms of interaction with people. They're very calm when they're trying to get a point across, and they're very calm when it comes to you know, receiving certain news and then their reactions to it. All right, usually in a very calm manner. Okay, when doing, you know, performing tasks, doing their job, all right, usually people who are in the steadiness category are also approach their life with a very calm approach. Okay, meaning that they will do their necessary planning, they'll go about whatever necessary that is to be done. Okay, they'll plan, and then they'll get hold of the resources they need. Okay, all without any haste. Okay, in a calm and collected manner. Okay, very composed. Okay, another behavioral tendency of people in the steadiness category would be that they also are very humble people. Okay, they are not the ones who will bask in the attention of focus of general public. Okay, instead, even when they've done something well, you know, receive credit for it, or they excel. Okay, they also show a lot of humility. in the way they carry themselves, and in the way they even break the news of their achievements to others. A lot of humility shown by people in this category. When you're talking about any shortcomings or weakness of people who belong to steadiness category, one thing that comes to mind would be their tendency not to want to rush, okay, their actions. So people who are in this category, they do not like to be working with very tight deadlines, or having someone to breathe down their necks, okay, pushing them and then rushing them. They prefer to take the time in their control, and when the situation arises, when there are people who are pushing them, rushing them, screaming at them to get their feet going, or to basically have a very hasty pace, would be something that people in this category would not like. And if you belong to this steadiness category, in order for you to really work on this area, you might want to explore ways that you can try to find some peace in working in a fast-paced environment, or with a fast-paced person, okay, for that matter. So yep. Last but not least, okay, we talk about the category of conscientiousness. Now, people who belong to the category of conscientiousness, alright, they are a group of people who are very, very good, okay, with details. Okay, people in this category have a strong emphasis on being accurate. The focus on accuracy, on details, okay, is very, very evident in people in this category of conscientiousness. Okay, because of their love for details, alright, and accuracy, okay, it naturally lands them in a very good position for them to work towards competencies. Okay, people in this category are very, very strong in terms of trying to work their best in a particular skill or competency, and they are usually highly attracted by the ability to rise up and become pick up their expertise in a particular field. Okay, and people who are in this category, they show a lot of love for competencies, for expertise, okay, for details, and because of that, right, they naturally pride themselves, okay, with the ability to maintain a certain level of quality, be it in their personal life, or quality be it in their appreciation for a particular interest, or it can be quality in terms of their work. Alright, and in terms of behavioral tendencies, when you interact with a person who is in the conscientiousness category, it is quite easy for them to stand out in terms of their need for details. So you can be speaking to a person casually, and then he might want to know the details of the point that you are discussing. Okay, and people who are in this category of conscientiousness, they are also very good when it comes to objective reasoning. Okay, they are very good with being objective, okay, putting aside emotions and just make a very objective decision and reasoning, and they are highly enthused by the opportunity to weigh the pros and cons, to compare the different factors, the pros and cons, the factors, and making a decision after many comparisons. Okay, so people who are in this category of conscientiousness, typically because of their love for details, to be objective, and it naturally also lends them to be very independent people. They love to be left alone at times in their thoughts, and it doesn't bother them a single bit if they are working alone, or if they are being entrusted with a lot of independent time to themselves. Okay, in terms of the shortcomings or area that they can work on, would be the fact that people in this category of conscientiousness, they tend to dislike being wrong, okay, to the extent that it might sometimes bother them quite a bit. Okay, like in a normal conversation, okay, they're talking about, oh, this movie is really good, okay, because the director is good, the cast is good, the plot is good, and then they're on this discussion, and then somehow or other they are being proved wrong, and then they will come out of the discussion feeling really lousy or feeling really negative. Okay, so the shortcoming of being very affected by being wrong in any kind of discussion or argument is a shortcoming that you can work on. So for these people who are in this category, okay, probably they can take their life a little easier when it's on a more casual setting, okay, and not be so affected by being right, but rather have fun nevertheless. Alright, so that will be able to lighten up, okay, this category of people a bit more. Okay, so for today, I hope that you enjoy what I've shared. Okay, the DISC personality tool. Okay, it's a way to profile people, either yourself or people around you, so that you can understand better what are your strengths and what are the weaknesses, and how best to leverage on both, okay, and to work together. I hope you enjoyed what you listened to today. Okay, be sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel if you love what you hear and you would like to receive more of such awesome and free content. Also be sure to visit myhappyfeet.com for more details of articles and resources that will help you to reach a happier and more fulfilling life, as well as to help you reach your potential. Thank you. This is Zach Chen signing off. Bye bye.